you mentioned something about another Lost Odyssey runner.
Yes. Yeah, there's a few of us, but not many active ones at the moment.
Right. What were your thoughts on him?
Red Buddha?
Yeah.
He is a cool dude who is exceptionally mean to me.
Well, let's say he was very kind to charity. A donation of $10.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
here we
you
go.
very much.
In what way does he want me to embarrass myself?
Hey, Red Buddha here. Figured I should donate while Spud is still playing. Just wanted to say great job on the run, and you better get sub 7 sometime, so I don't have to spend the time doing it myself.
Yes, sub 7 in the regular route of this game is entirely possible, but my ability to menu and get things absolutely nailed down as far as you know, just menuing basically and getting everything efficient so you know exactly where everything is and you know exactly how many times to press up and down on menus and stuff like that. I can't learn that. I'm just not good enough. So I think if you got sub 7, you'd have some ability to do that and you'd be able to sorry. I've got to remember where the white boa is. It's actually down here. So, but yeah, if you had some ability to remember all that sort of thing, then you could pretty easily get sub 7 in this game. At the moment, the world record is 7:24 or so, which is a pretty good run.
Wow.
But it uses old strats.
So there's a fair bit of time.
I think I could probably bring that down to about a 7:10. Yeah, it's a really long and difficult game to run just because of not having enough time, basically.
You have to have no Spud please moments, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah, I actually can't remember exactly what went wrong in my my 7:24, but it was a pretty clean run. But there's since been about 10 minutes savings, 10 minutes of savings without changes, and the previous run wouldn't have been that clean. So there should be a fair bit of time to save. And I've done runs subsequently that have been about 12 minutes ahead, and I've just made some ridiculous mistake, like forgetting double item on Ancient Fiend or something, which has cost me, 10 or 15 minutes. So it's just really hard to have a chance to get a good run.
Okay, we have another donation here. $30 donated anonymously. Unfortunately, okay, the comment says, I want to have $15 to the name of Tepig to be Bacon, and $15 for the name of the trainer to be Emily. Unfortunately, both of those are closed. Yeah, I'm just going to see if anyone else assigned new. Nothing. Okay, I'll assign anything if I hear. Yeah. So if you're still around, anonymous donor or person, never mind. Okay. Yeah. If you could just contact me in the chat. Yeah. Both of those are closed. Both the name of the trainer and the name of the first Pokemon, Tepig, as well as the gender of the trainer and the name of the rival. The other 4 Pokemon are still open, 3 of which are known Pokemons, and 1 of which will be some random Pokemon that Villagin picks up. And I would be happy to either split 15-15 or just take all 30, whatever you like, and put it to any of those, or put it to any remaining game, really. Any remaining incentives. So, yeah, just give me a shout in the chat. Like, give me a PM. Oh, yeah, if you go to crystalsforlife.ca, that's FOR, not the number 4, crystalsforlife.ca, you can view the donation tracker. It's about halfway down the page on the right, and then you can see all the potential incentives that you can put it towards.
All right, so we're on our way to the
Canada.
second Canada. Yes, I have on our way to Canada. The snowfields of the Northern Land, as this place is called. It's a very appropriate name there that you mentioned that. But yes, we're on our way to Blue Dragon, which is the second donation incentive that you guys voted for. And I picked this as a it's still pretty marathon safe, but it's also a pretty hairy fight because you can't really just abuse persistence to make your way through this. There's sort of a bit of a... I still sort of am going to be using persistence a lot, but it's this is not a fight that you're meant to be taking on at level 30 or so. He has a spell called Leveler, which does a huge amount of damage, and you also are forced to use an extra mortal in this fight. So I've only got 3 people with persistence during this fight, which is a bit scary. I can still use good old-fashioned gamble strats, and that's pretty much the only reasonable way of dealing damage, apart from going out of your way to buy like a whole bunch of physical attack items, which I will be doing, but it still won't be good enough to take out this guy. So we are resorting back to good old gamble strats. He doesn't have a huge amount of health, but he has a really horrible attack list. And pretty much everything he does is horrifying. He'll probably open with death, I think. Oh no, Leveler. Leveler is actually a good thing. Leveler is one of the most powerful black magic spells in the game. It's probably going to deal about 6,000 damage to me. You can actually get this as a spell, that's sort of why you come here. But fortunately, it doesn't matter how much damage it does, because persistence is going to save my butt every time. That's basically the only good thing that he can cast. Otherwise, he has Death, All Curse, and Prisma, or All Prisma. No, Gamble is not being nice. That one was good. At this point, anything under 800 is pretty disappointing because I've actually got a decent amount of leveling done at this point. So yet again, I just switched kinds of equipment there really quickly just for the persistence glitch, so that if he takes another leveler, he'll actually survive it. But he's going to do Death, which bypasses persistence, so I'm going to have to get her back up. And he nearly always follows it up with not that. That's interesting, and that's actually good, because he should survive that. Yes, okay. He usually follows it up with All Curse, which is probably his worst spell, except for possibly Death, because I get through persistence. Yeah.
I know who's going to come out victorious from this one.
Yes, the double-digit gambles are pretty common as far as I'm concerned. A little bit too common as far as I'm concerned. I might actually get Gentle. Yes, I did. Yes, it's all gone now. Right, I haven't actually gone for my second safety shopping trip yet, so we'll just use the heal pool that I picked up a disc ago so that he can keep casting Gamble.
And sorry, I forgot to say earlier when I said private message me, in the QuakeNet chat, I probably should have said who I am. If you don't know, I'm Foxnor. Probably just now private messaging poor random people.
3. Yes. I'm glad I at least got one single damage gamble in this run.
Did I miss that? That was a 3?
Yeah.
If I got a 1, that would have been incredible.
17,
but yeah, not quite. All right, this couldn't have happened at a worse time.
Together they make 20.
It should be okay. All Curse, at the end of this turn, All Curse will change into a random status effect. And what we don't want is Poison or Sleep. Because Poison will kill me after Poison or Toxin. I've gotten Dizzy there, which is fine. Or that might be Sleep. I think that's Sleep. It's actually really hard for me to tell because I'm colorblind. Sed has Kellalon on, which means that all of his attacks do 1 damage.
This is awesome. The chat is exploding. 17. Ha 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 ha. Oh, they have something coming.
Yeah.
Yay for Twitch lag.
This is really awkward. I've only got I can't do any damage with Sed at the moment because he's got Kellalon. I've got no way of healing it. So he's got a status effect called Kellalon on, which means that all of his attacks do 1 damage. So he's sort of resigned to item duty. Well, yeah, so I'll get a fake one.
Yeah, Kellalon is basically Imp or Piggy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's what they called it starting in the game, Blue Dragon, for Mistwalker games.
There, 1 health left, 5,000 damage. It's all fine. It's all good. He's going to be fine.
So
he's asleep though, so I can't renew the persistence glitch. So if he gets hit again, he'll actually take the damage. Yeah, it's like, you know, he's a sleepy dude. He's been doing this for 7 hours. So Jensen's still pretty useless.
So I think there's a very timely donation incentive we've received. $15 from Living
Hitakuri, how you going, dude?
Probably laughing right now because his comment goes, "Hey Spud, I managed to catch the run live and I'm glad you're doing great. May the RNG be gods with you and may the gambles always roll high numbers."
Nope.
P.S. Start speedrunning Final Fantasy IX already.
No. Oh my god, why indeed? Yes, you are absolutely correct. So I need these to be pretty good. I bought like 20 extra angel plumes, but so many fights have gone so badly in this fight that I'm actually almost out of them. Yes. Yes, you are absolutely right though. If that hadn't worked and he did something bad next turn, I might have had to go back to the safety save.
That was a close one.
I see some
Yeah,
tables.
that was really a close one.
I see some tables being flipped, presumably for the 3.
Yep.
Yeah. the 3 was pretty bad. The gambles in that were pretty okay though. There was a lot of good ones and a lot of bad ones, so it works out okay. But that's the extra bosses out of the way. So thanks very much for the donations on those guys. That was really generous of you, and I really enjoy doing those fights, even though they're a little bit hairy. So I've got to do a second shopping trip now, and I should do it at Numara. And yeah, basically from this point on, we're just barreling our way to the end of the game. We've got 2 dungeons to go, and then the final boss rush. Dungeons will take about an hour, well, probably not quite an hour, and the final boss rush will take about 20 minutes. So there's not really much else that can go wrong, but my inability to concentrate 7.5 hours into a run is definitely going to come into play in the final boss rush. Because I'm going to need to basically do the persistence switch nearly every turn, and I can't forget anyone, otherwise it takes a long time for people to get back up.
I guess I could try to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, it's something that I'll probably go a little bit quiet while I'm doing it, but I should be okay. Basically, once I get up to Luminous Magic Beast is when the interesting stuff happens. Now, I can't actually buy any good healing items here, so I might have to make 2 stops here. I did have a lot of, what I would consider a lot of healing tanks towards the start of this, but I've actually gone through a hell of a lot of them because of how I've, especially my Disc 3 luck. There was a lot of fights there that I used a lot of healing items on that I would never use healing items on normally. So I think I bought 5 earlier on, and they've all been used, including my my safety healful that I picked up towards the middle of Disc 3. So I think to be super duper careful, I'll go and make sure that I've got enough of those to get through. So I can finally buy the extra platinum brand now. I already have all that stuff that I need. I'm just going to double check that I've got all these items that I need. I need 2, 12, 2 and 12, which is fine. They'll be for bosses coming up in this next little section. And then there'll be one final stop back here to buy more bombs for the final boss. Once I get back, but I really needed to buy that weapon now.
Alright, well while you're running about, I have some great news. So right now, the Yeti is selling 6 different Crystals for Life design t-shirts, each for $11, with $3 of every sale being donated to JDRF by the Yeti.
And they're awesome shirts.
Yeah, they're absolutely awesome shirts, I have to add.
They're awesome shirts, and something that I've noticed, especially living in Australia, is that their shipping is like incredibly cheap. I don't know how they do it,
Yeah,
but like getting it shipped overseas like costs nothing almost.
Yeah, and at $3 a shirt, so far they have raised $2,600 worth of donations
Nice.
off C4L 2014's shirts. So yeah, definitely claps for the Yeti. Late night quiet claps.
Yeah. So I tried to get in on the party, and then everyone stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is really annoying. You walk into this area, or you swim into this area, you drive the boat into this area.
Darkling got what I
You
thought.
sail into
but
this
same
area,
thing I did for that.
you trigger this
Good
cutscene.
news,
And the
everyone.
worst thing about that is that it brings the white boat to a complete halt at the end of the cutscene. So you got to wait for it to slowly accelerate to make
I
it
would
like
totally read
2
that tweet
meters
if I
it needs
did a
to go
good
forward.
Farnsworth. But I don't.
Oh, dude, I'm losing it. I'm telling you.
This
Yeah, so there is. Unfortunately, I am looking to give this game away reasonably soon, just because I don't have time to do full runs. And when I do full runs, I end up like this and losing my words and inability to comprehend simple sentences and stuff like that. And I make lots of really bad mistakes. So I'm still doing disc practice every now and again, but yeah, it's just not a very convenient speed run for me anymore. I really love running it, but yeah, it's a little bit long, to be honest. I'm looking to pick up Eternal Sonata though, which if I can get somewhere near the record time, we're talking a lot less than 4 hours. So that's quite happily a one go stint for me.
So it's actually kind of interesting. I already have a copy of Eternal Sonata, and I haven't even finished playing it, but I really enjoy it and want to learn to speedrun it.
Do you have the PS3 or the 360 version?
The PS3.
Forget it. Don't do it.
Why not?
The PS3 version speedrun is about 6 hours, I think. The 360 version is a little bit over 3. There's lots of extra content in the PS3 version, and the money mechanics that you exploit to death in the 360 version aren't anywhere near as broken in the PS3 version. You get to about not even an hour into the run in the 360 version. You spend one turn, which is about 5 seconds, taking photos of something, and that gives you basically all the money you need for the entire run. And it's not even like a glitch or anything, it's just how that mechanic works in the game. You just make a stupid amount of money out of it.
Yeah, I vaguely remember hearing about that.
It's absolutely, it's literally like someone accidentally put a 0 on the end of the amount that they sell for. Like you can take about, you can take like 10, or you can take like 8 photos and go to the first probably 5 or 6 shops and buy 99 of everything from those shops. It's a really, really silly selling mechanic, but for the speed run, it's great because all you have to do is do that, and you've got all the money you need for the entire run.
Huh, I might have to pull out my Xbox 360 and find a copy because, assuming, assumption, fingers crossed, knock on wood, that everything is successful at C4L this year and we wind up doing it again next year. Actually, want to run Eternal Sonata because my wife is a huge Brahms fan.
Okay, cool. Well,
and I'm sorry, also Chopin.
yeah,
It's getting late to the audience.
Yeah.
Yes, Brahms
Yeah.
is her favorite, but Chopin is probably her second
yeah.
favorite.
I really
so-
liked Eternal Sonata, but the ending that put me off at a great deal. I won't spoil anything, but
Okay.
the ending was a bit of a disappointment. I could be trolling you. You never know. Could be. Like I've heard of people who love the ending. It's like it's not like it's universally a bad ending, but I definitely didn't enjoy it. Who knows? You might try it and really enjoy it. These random encounters are terrible. They're going to waste a huge amount of time because they always go first and they always do this. And you just sit back and wait, grab a drink, and you wait for them to just create about $1,000. They're actually a pretty low chance to run into these things too.
Marathon luck.
Yeah, and then after all that, we're just gonna run away anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of like the vampires in FF4 then, or the vampire bats.
Oh, yeah, in the cave for the
Yeah.
metal. Yeah, yo.
I like how the running ability is called Turn Tail, as if the game is trying to make you feel bad about fleeing from battle.
Yeah, brave Sir Robin, run away. Now, I've learned to be really careful in this area because there's these, like tanks, I suppose. And you can actually press A on them and get into an encounter, and it's basically one of the random encounters you can run into in this area. But the problem is that when you use the tanks to run into that encounter, you can't run away from them, and they are the most horrible random encounter in like any game ever. They regen, they have tons of health, they deal tons of damage, and they put poison on everything. So for the speedrun, they are basically instant death. And I have accidentally like looked away from the screen while I've been in that area, like mashing A to get through text. I've just absentmindedly walked over there and pressed A on that area, and I got very angry in the process. Spud, please. Oh yeah, I've lost a disc run to it. I've never lost a full run to it. Yeah, this keeps surprising me. The checkpoints in this game are a constant surprise. I've lost like 50 minutes to a bad checkpoint before. Usually there's a checkpoint before every boss, but some bosses aren't really considered bosses. So if you die to certain places, you will go to the previous boss. You know, quite often with 20 minutes of running and random encounter fleeing and stuff in between them, so you can lose 30 or 40 minutes to some of them.
I just remember earlier in the day watching not Lightning Return, the Crystal Chronicles, how you just zoom straight up ladders with no effort. And I was like, man, it's so nice, ladders that aren't a pain in the
Yeah.
front. And then
Yeah, it's like you can run really fast in this game, which is really good for a speed run. But then you've got the ladder mechanics, which is There is one thing about the ladders that I do like. There's a lot of attention to detail in them, because like when you're climbing up and down them, he actually grabs onto each rung. It's not like half the time you see people climbing ladders and they're not, they're grabbing like in the middle of like each of the rungs or something. It's like that, yeah. Yeah, this is pure realism. I really like really dumb attention to detail like that. There's a power drink in here. Whoops, I didn't mean to kick it twice. I kicked it twice out of frustration last night because I couldn't remember where that power drink was, and I opened every single one of them over on the back there. I hit the power drink and then I kicked it again. But yeah, that's sort of for safety because I ended up using a couple of extras in another place earlier on in disc 3. I don't think there's any safety things I want to do here. I do want to get Sultan out of my party though. Jansen out of my party. Alright, so back on disc 3 there was a fight that I did while I was controlling Gongora, and I was able to take out one of the 7 dudes that was in that fight in preparation for this fight. It turns out that it's not really that important because I can use Gamble on the last one, but it used to be really important. But basically the result of that fight is that there's 6 of these dudes left, and now I've got to fight them. This is all pretty easy. If you come here on your first playthrough, these guys will highly confuse you. They've got a whole bunch of like combination attacks, which could be really nasty. But because we're prepared and we're in a speed run, we can make mincemeat of these guys. Oh, and they have this bit of dialogue, which is like 10 words, and it takes them about 20 minutes to actually read it. Yeah, they take a decent amount of time. So there's one note I've got on here, and that's because I'm colorblind and I can never remember which one is which. What was that, sir? did I miss a joke there, or what? Okay, yeah, that's cool. Lots of people say that.
Because it literally tells you which color it is.
Oh, I'm not looking at them. I just can never remember which one between the green and the green and the yellow. I can never remember which one is which, because they're not as obvious as the water ones, the water and the fire ones. Sorry? Yeah. So yeah, I always forget which one the green and the yellow ones are. 'Cause I would expect the green would be ground, but it's actually yellow. I'll be casting that on, not on him, on the black one, and Dude, where are they? Aquaros, there we go. I kept freaking out because I kept seeing 2 grounder spawns, and I remembered I had extras. If we've got 2 grounder spawns there, then they should be used, but it's because I bought extra before, so I was being super careful about that. But because items always go first, I can take out 4 of these guys before they even get a turn, and that means that gets rid of all of their combination attacks, and there's only 3 of them left. All of the first 4 are pretty obvious, it's just their elemental weakness, which is what I'm taking out with bombs now. The gold one is vulnerable to physical attacks, and the black one is vulnerable to status effects, so that's why I cast Stone on him. Fortunately, the physical attack one I can also cast Gamble on. Otherwise, my physical attacks at this point, they're not bad, but Gamble is better still. Just my physical attacks are just not that good. Oh, probably, yeah. But like, I'll have like 4 gambles here, so it only takes like 1 of them to be any good. But who knows? This is a marathon. This is all going to go horribly wrong in about 10 seconds, I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. Breaks, and there's a very small chance that he casts a spell called Memberous. I'm not sure if Chubfish is watching, but he really loves the spell Memberous. he goes right off tap every time these guys cast Memberous. Memberous is actually a spell that deals damage based on the difference in the amount of people on each side. So because there's only 2 of these guys left, and there's 5 of me, Memberous deals about 3,000 damage. I might be able to take this guy out without having to cast Stone. Without the Stone going off, I should say. There we go. Cool. It's a bit unfortunate actually, because if you don't kill him, the next thing he usually casts is all Sleep, and then Stone will wear off. So you can quite often finish this fight with everyone asleep, which is pretty funny.
Alrighty, we received a $15 donation from Matthew Bernotas. Hey guys, great marathon and excellent selection of games. It's always nice to see people doing good for others. Keep up the great work. Donation goes to whatever Poxnor would like. That's a new one. You know he's not Poxnor, right?
No, man, we're going to get merged into the conglomerates of Coexel, Poxnor, and Potato Handle. Yeah. It's late. Give him a break. It's all good. Spud walks no. That's pretty good.
Then I will put it towards naming Setzer Poxnor and hopefully start some sort of silly bidding war.
I don't think Team Liquid has a bidding thing for Christmas for Life.
I don't think so.
But I am here, so maybe they're secretly going for something, I don't know.
So thank you very much for that.
This is sort of a safety thing here that I'm doing. I'm just making sure, I'm going to the wrong building for a start. I'm making sure that I've got enough healing items and that, just to make sure that I get through the next 2 boss fights. And I'll be back here one more time for the final boss rush, where I'll buy like 1,000,000 bombs with all the money that I've got left. But I really want to make sure that I've got at least a couple of herbs and enough angel plumes, which I've got plenty of. So that's all that was for, basically. I probably could have, if I looked in my menu, I probably should have actually gone somewhere else for that. And I could have bought tanks, but these will be fine for the moment. They were cheaper as well, so I'll be able to buy more bombs later. I shouldn't need any healing items for the next 2 bosses, but bad things can happen, so we'll just be doubly careful about it. But that camera change always gets me. Okay, so now I've got to find my transport, which should be over here. And now all I've got to do with the white bow is get it far enough away from the coast that I can release the Nautilus. And for some reason it takes ages. You've got to get it like all the way out here. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really enjoying himself.
Or unnecessarily making everyone else ill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not want to be in there when that's happening.